Today I'm redesigning the Indigo Park mascots. Now you're probably asking, why am I doing this? After all, Indigo Park has already got some amazing designs and it's pretty good, all things considered. But the truth is, I'm not actually redesigning the mascots, more like re-envisioning them. As I do really enjoy Indigo Park, I think it's a labor of love to mascot horror, and I know the team behind it is extremely driven to improve the game going forward, so I am well aware Indigo Park has some good faith behind it, and it's just gonna get better. So it goes without saying that I don't hate the game or its designs. This is purely out of love for the game and how I'd go about envisioning these spooky little guys to just be a twinge bit spookier. But without further ado, let's get into the redesigns slash reimaginings. Starting off, not with Rambly, because when I say reimagining the mascots, I mean only the mascots, so no Finley or Salem, and especially no Rambly. Plus, Rambly's already perfect, who'd want to change this little fella? So we're gonna be starting with Molly. Molly McCaw, the greatest pilot you ever saw. She's this aviator-based parrot, a fun-loving, brash, loyal bird who would do anything to protect her friends. Sure, I really like Molly's design, but when it gets transferred over to the horror walk-around character, a few things get lost on me. Which, let me clarify, the reason that a lot of aspects are probably lost is because of lore significance, which is totally understandable and will probably get explained when the story gets explained a bit further, but as of right now, these are my minor, and I reiterate, minor gripes with her design. Most of it is just relating to how I'm not scared of her. Her eyes kind of remind me of like the Sans the Skeleton OCs that you would find around 2010, and overall I get a friendlier vibe from her rather than a threatening one. So in this redesign, I wanted to take a page out of the mascots from the 2000s and the 2010s with their cartoonishly ominous black eyes, and give her some big old peepers. I also found it kind of weird that she has claws. I know it's in line for her character and it makes actual sense that the mascot would be able to interact and hold stuff and all that jazz, but I just found that it made her read more like a dinosaur rather than a bird. But that's just me. Now, this is where I'll be explaining my inspirations for these two designs. I'm taking inspiration from the original 2D designs of the mascots, the game theory, and 2000s Disney mascots, since Indigo Park has some minor similarities to our good old friend the mouse over there. Now, I'm well aware that the discrepancies between the 2D designs and the mascot designs could be because of lore significance, but until more information comes out, I'll just be interpreting things my own way. So I decided I'd keep the original 2D design colorings to be more in line, rather than the walk-around character ones. I also wanted to incorporate the whole idea that they're secretly animals that have been experimented on to create the perfect way not to pay the employees. So, being that the case, I made her torso more mascot whilst her bottom half and her wings were more animalish. I also, when I was thinking about the chase scene, I thought it'd be cool that instead of her just like regularly chasing you, she could slump backwards with her feet dragging her forwards and her arms and head ragdolling to the side as she runs towards you, as I think it just adds some intrigue to her chase scene rather than her just regularly chasing us. And also, while she's in the tubes, she could be like crushed in the tubes where her head's kind of like dislocated to the side in a kind of ominous, scary way. But anyway, here is the finished reimagining. What-de-do. Next up, we have Lloyd. No, I named you L-L-O-Y-D. Lloyd L. Lion is the regal lion of the main stage. Lloyd is described as having an air of arrogance that could rival any monarch. He's friends with the main cast, all except for Rambly, who, seems to have a tumultuous relationship, to say the best. Something I didn't really enjoy about Lloyd was the fact that he's just kind of a plain old lion, which, let me reiterate, that I understand that he's probably a lion because of lore, but for the sake of the redesign, I'm going to redesign him more in line with spooky mascots and his 2D design. That means more color! I did, however, keep him rocking that hippie no-clothes look, as well as a more feral overall demeanor. However, I added the aspect of worn-out mascot costumes and kept to the idea that if a person were to wear this and would be crawling around on all fours, they'd rather resemble this kind of posture rather than a full-blown lion. I also gave him smaller eyes because at the end of the day, I wanted to get across that this park was around for a long time, so they'd probably have different mascot design philosophies in circulation at their parks. So they'd probably have mascots from the 2010s, the 2000s, the 1990s, and so on. Now, here's where another aspect comes into play. I thought it'd be cool if Lloyd introduced a new type of features into the gameplay, by having the fact that he could glow or something. I don't know what they'd do to incorporate that in a spooky way. I just thought it'd be neat if all the mascots we encountered had their own funky ways of walking or gameplay aspects. For Molly, since she's not really in the game that much, she'd have her weird ragdoll walk, and Lloyd would have these ominous glowing claws and weird spooky teeth, as well as some glowing insides, which who knows what could be inside that mascot? Lore, perhaps? Yeah, I don't know, I just thought it'd look cool. So, here's Lloyd in all his lionly glory. Anyway, you've reached the end. I hope you enjoyed these reimaginings. If you don't find them scary, or even worse than the original designs, that's fine by me. Everyone's entitled to feel however they want, and this was more just like a fun exercise in character reimagining for me. I mean no ill will to the creator of Indigo Park or the team. I think you're all really super cool, and I love to see this game develop and grow more. I just wanted to spook up these characters a bit. So, I hope you enjoy this, and you should go check out my other stuff, such as my Art Fight video, or my own delve into a mascot franchise, which did exist in real life, so you should check that out. See you next time if you choose to subscribe or stick around.